Hey everyone, it's Yudia. Welcome back to my channel. Um, to be honest, I've been wanting to post this video a few days ago, but I haven't had the energy to, and it honestly is what took me several minutes to kind of get the motivation to come on at this moment, but I'm glad I am. I know it's been technically a little over a week, almost 2 weeks since I completed my radiation treatments, and I am already technically underway to start phase 4 of everything. But let me kind of backtrack a little bit and give a history, not a long history, a summary of my journey so far. So for breast cancer, treatment, I guess, for someone with my type of breast cancer, which is estrogen, progesterone positive, and HER2 negative breast cancer, is there's 4 phases to treatment or therapy. The first phase was my surgery, which I had back in February, I think. Yes, February, end of February. So I had my double mastectomy. That's first phase. The second phase is then chemotherapy, which you all know about. So that was the second phase, and I completed chemotherapy August 15th. And third phase of therapy or treatment for my type of breast cancer is radiation therapy. And so I completed that September 27th, like I said, just a little over a week ago. And now I am starting phase 4. And phase 4 is a long phase, but I will get back to that in a bit and explain a little bit what phase 4 is. But before that, I wanted to just kind of share with you so far how I've been doing since I've completed radiation therapy and chemotherapy. First off, as you can probably see more now, my hair is growing. So I'm excited to see that technically. So I stopped. So if you've been following my journey as well, I had shaved my hair before chemo. And then obviously with chemo, it did fall off. So I did have alopecia, but I've been shaving it the entire time as well, because it's not 100%. Like, there was a few, like clumps fell off, obviously, after I shaved it. So starting chemotherapy, a chunk of my hair, sections of it came off, but it was not traumatic at all for me because I had shaved it before chemo. So it was little like porcupine needles, short things that just fell off during the shower. And I just literally just did this and everything like came off of my hair. But there were some patches that were pretty stubborn and actually stayed on for majority of chemo, and that's like right here on my crown area. But apparently, as toward the end of chemo, or probably even after, I guess that patch also ended up falling off, but late. And so throughout chemo, as I've been saying, I've been like little hairs were growing, but I was shaving it just so that it's clean. But after August 15th, I think I did my last shave or something, and then decided to let it grow out and see, because I wanted to know how soon hair would start growing back after chemo. And so it actually grew back pretty rapidly about a month after. The one that the one patch up here actually is now starting to grow in, so it's the last to come in as well. So I have some here. I don't know if you guys could see that. You could see like fuzz. Um, and in the back as well, I could feel it. My husband says it's patchy, like some areas are darker than others. But basically it's growing in. My eyebrows, as you can see, has also grown in. I have actually like plucked them. They grow pretty rapid. I had to shape them a little bit. So yeah. And then my eyelashes as well has started to grow back in. I don't know if you guys could see that, but literally it was nothing. At the end of chemo, it was all gone. Eyebrows and eyelashes were all gone, but it grew back. I have to say I'm impressed pretty fast after I stopped chemo. Uh, the thing that continued with chemo that I'm still struggling with is the peripheral neuropathy, as I said. But I have actually started acupuncture last week. At the end, I tried an acupuncture one time before radiation, but I had to stop it anyway because I can't do acupuncture during radiation therapy. So I started it back up a week ago. Last Thursday, I think, was my first acupuncture post radiation. And I've been going, it's twice a week. So I just had my third session on Thursday. And so they did acupuncture, obviously, the needle stuff, and the needle's tiny, so I barely feel it. And then they also do cupping. I don't know if you guys are familiar with cupping, but it basically, you end up having, you suction your skin. There's a cup, and then you put the cup on top of the skin or the muscle area, and then you suck up the air, and that just kind of brings your skin up like this, and you leave it like that for a bit, and then you get, depending on how sick you are or the area of the body, you get like bruises. So here's an example. This was the darkest bruise that from the cupping that I got, but it doesn't hurt. Yeah, and they'll eventually go away. It didn't stay, but I have pepperoni marks. See, this one isn't as dark, so it all depends. Ooh, I'm shaking the table. I think I had some on this side as well. Hold on. So yeah, you could see that's cupping. Doesn't hurt. And then, so acupuncture doesn't hurt, cupping doesn't hurt. They basically do that and you just sleep a while. So it was good rest. But what hurts, and what I never knew before I came to this acupuncturist, was moxa. If you have done moxa, that's awesome. I'm doing it the first time for my peripheral neuropathy. And basically, I hope I could do a video of it next time. My husband hasn't videotaped it, so I don't have anything to share physically with you, or like a video of what they do. But basically, they burn your wherever the tissue, wherever you have issues. So for me, because I have peripheral neuropathy, they kind of put, I don't know, either it's not wax, it's something. I don't know what it is. They put like an oil or a wax on the tips of my fingers. Then they put an herb, which is, I think, like incense, herbs or whatever. And then they literally use a lighter and like light it. And then he has to put it out. And it hurt. Like it literally would flame. So like I jumped. Like I'm pretty tolerant of pain, but this is intense. Like I wasn't expecting it. So when every single time, but I feel that it's working, because even though I still have peripheral neuropathy, and I'm still pretty weak, but what I notice is that it's more concentrated to the tip now, and not as um much down here. Anyways, I'm hopeful that a few more or several more sessions, it's going to help me to get rid of my peripheral neuropathy from chemo, to resolve sooner, rather than just waiting it out, because I've heard that, it could be years before everything comes back to normal. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to wait that long, because I want to get back to journaling and writing and typing and doing and helping around the house as much as possible, and just doing normal daily things. But anyways, yes. So if he leaves the fire on too long, I guess it's also as much how numb you are. Like he has patients that um they're probably a lot more numb than I am. And he'd leave the fire on a while and they don't feel it. So praise the Lord, I still have some sensation. But so that gives me hope that'll heal faster, the peripheral neuropathy. But yeah, it hurts. So they put fire, and then he'd have to snub it out. And if he doesn't snub it out, and if I move it, then it hurts more, because the air, oxygen just makes the fire even more intense, and he can't snub it out. So that happened to me a couple times. And so usually it leaves a mark, so this red mark, I don't know if you could see it. Looks like a pinprick. Yeah, that was the most intense one, because I took my hand away from him, so the fire stayed a lot longer. So that hurt for a couple hours after. The other ones usually ends up being like a yellow dot. I don't know if you could see. So here, right there, you could see those spots, just like little dots. But that's from fire, from moxa, and not from acupuncture. So that's new. But I'm hopeful, and I'm willing to go through that torture or pain if it means I'm gonna get better. So they do that to my toes as well. Apparently, for that type of stuff, like joint pain and things, moxa works better than acupuncture, the needles. We shall see. The other thing I wanted to share is that, I've shared that I had cording, where like there's a cord here that hurts, when I pull, and related to my mastectomy. So the praise is that is all gone. I don't have cording anymore. I can move my hands and have flexibility, everything, and it doesn't hurt at all. And before it hurt a lot. So that bothered me a lot, and now it's gone. I don't have any painful things. So that's a praise. And then what else? I took some notes here. Heel cording, acupuncture. So my skin post radiation, thank goodness, hasn't been bad at all. This is all shiny of Aquaphor right now. Hooray. Not fun. But it's been protecting my skin. I can't complain. I mean, I can complain, but I shouldn't. But yeah, so far there's nothing like other than redness a little bit around this area, like I've shared before. It hasn't itch. I haven't had to, nothing's painful. No like crazy discoloration or anything so far. Just a little bit red and itchy in this area, and I just like boop, 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 boop to kind of take the itch away. But other than that, and it doesn't itch for all day or anything. It's just once in a blue moon. So in terms of skin, I don't know. Sometimes this area feels a little bit or looks a little bit transparent. I don't know if my skin is more transparent, if that's because like the steroid that I use, I don't know, but I just feel like it's a bit more transparent. But other than that, not an issue. Energy is definitely, fatigue is definitely an issue for me, especially mental fatigue. So it's been hard. Like I said, still having issues reading, uh, like thinking critically. It takes a while for my brain to kind of turn on. And then after like reading something or like I have to take lots of breaks, it gets exhausting. So I would do some work in like a couple hour chunks, and then I'd have to rest. Um, and then what else? Gut issue, everything, no issues with my gut. Everything is fine. I still have hot flashes. And hot flashes. So so the acupuncturist gave me, I bought some herbal supplements from him, and that should help with hot flashes. And I took like almost the full dose, and it did a number on my stomach. Like it was like technically max dose is 4 pills 4 times a day. And he already told me just take 3 pills 3 times a day. I took 3 pills 2 times a day, and my stomach hurt so bad. Like it was just like it felt twisted. I took it after a meal, but it was like I felt it twisted. I had like GERD symptoms. Like it was not at all comfortable. I tried it for a couple days. So then, but it did. I felt that it helped with my hot flashes. I didn't have as much at night. So what we decided to do is try 1 pill once a day and see how it goes. Because and I did that yesterday night too, like the last couple of days, and it's helped not as helpful as when it was 3 days, but the 3 times or 3 pills 3 times a day. But heck, the stomach pain was worse than the hot flashes. So we're just going to go with 1 pill once a day for now, and maybe up it to twice a day. We shall see. Um, but that's where that is. And I think in the last video, I was supposed to have an ultrasound to check about the lymph node or the bump that I had here several months back that totally freaked me out. Luckily, it shrunk, so I don't feel it anymore. So probably the doctor that said it was probably a clot in the lymphatic system is correct. But in any case, I was going to have the ultrasound, I think it was last Thursday, but I decided to reschedule that ultrasound to this coming Saturday, October 4th, because I needed to do the acupuncture last Thursday, so I rescheduled stuff. Anywho, we shall see what those results are. I'm hopeful it'll be negative, nothing to be concerned about, or as the doctors say, unremarkable. Unremarkable is a good thing in medical jargon. And so with all of that, we now will talk about phase 4 of my treatment. Okay. When I had my appointment with my new medical oncologist, who explained to me about phase 4, after it, I kind of got a bit teary, if I'm being completely honest. I was just like, when is this going to end? And this totally sucks. So I had like probably a minute of tears, and then that day I think I was just like in a depressed mood, just like bleh. And I'll explain a little bit why I felt that way. So, gonna get a bit sciencey here a little bit, bear with me. Not too much, because I don't even, probably from my foggy brain, I don't even know all the medical names of the drugs, which I usually do. Not this time, because there's just a lot. So phase 4 is a long phase. It usually spans about 5 to 10 years of taking daily pills that are pretty strong. So, and the purpose of those pills, okay, hold on. So my breast cancer is estrogen progesterone positive, meaning hormone triggered breast cancer. I explained this before too. In a way, that's a good thing because we have these drugs that I'm about to share that could help fix that, right? That could help suppress that or make it go away. And the bad thing is there's side effects to it, but it's not like I won't potentially have those side effects anyways as a woman. So this is applicable to women, right? So let me explain. How do I start? Where do I start? Think. So, for a woman that has not gone through menopause, i.e., what physicians call young, right? And I'm in that bucket, apparently. If my breast cancer was low risk, meaning usually determined by like the number of lymph nodes I have, like a little bit or zero. And it's, the hormone positive breast cancer. They would give this drug called tamoxifen. Let's say call it T for now. And the purpose and what tamoxifen or T does is it's like a door that blocks the estrogen floating around in the body, to not be able to go to the breast cells, if that makes sense. So as a woman, our body, women, make estrogen from their ovaries, but also from the adrenal gland, which is the triangle on top of your kidneys. So you have kidneys, two kidneys, and then you have like a triangle organ. I don't know if it's called an organ right now. Anyways, I think it is. That secretes or converts, I believe, testosterone into estrogen, right? So that's how our bodies, women, make estrogen. The brain, I don't want to get too sciencey, but ovaries is a source of estrogen, and the adrenal glands on triangle things on your kidneys, on top of your kidneys, also make them. So two sources of estrogen. So tamoxifen would block the estrogen that our body makes from getting into the breast cells. Okay, so that. However, for women who have high risk breast cancer, hormone triggered, hormone positive breast cancer, high risk, that's not sufficient. Blocking basically they're saying the door isn't gonna hold you up. Basically, the amount of estrogen is gonna break it down, or the cancer cells they're stronger than the door that's gonna block it. So tamoxifen isn't really that great to prevent anything. So I'm in that bucket because I have 4 lymph nodes that were positive. So that's why I have a high risk case. And so the door that's blocking the estrogen isn't gonna cut it. It could buy time, maybe a little bit, but long term, it's just not gonna sustain the estrogen's quote unquote estrogen strength to get into the cancer cells or whatever, right? I mean, into the breast cells. So what they need to do is to remove the source of estrogen. How do we do that? So again, I said our ovaries make estrogen, and so do the adrenal glands on top of our kidneys. Those are the two sources where our body produces or makes estrogen. So if blocking it isn't sufficient, what we have to do is stop the source. So we stop the source, one, by suppressing the ovary, right? Making the ovary not work. And there are a few ways to do that. One, natural menopause. So for women who are already postmenopausal, meaning their ovaries, they haven't had a period for about a year. Basically, their ovaries already don't produce estrogen naturally, right, with time. That can happen. You could also have your ovaries removed surgically. Obviously, no ovaries, no estrogen coming from ovaries. So that's a way of suppressing it. Another way is to medically suppress the ovaries with a drug, an injection called Lupron. And obviously, this one is permanent, naturally permanent. Taking out your ovaries surgically is permanent. Injecting Lupron or medically doing it is not permanent, right? If you stop the Lupron injections, there's the potential that your ovaries will function again and start working again and produce estrogen again. So this is not permanent. Another option or potential is chemotherapy. Screwed up with your ovaries and shot them, and basically it's no longer functioning. Hooray, right? So those are the options of how to suppress your ovaries so that your ovaries don't make estrogen. But then there's the triangle on top of your kidneys that also make estrogen. So there is, I'm pretty sure, it's testosterone gets converted to estrogen if aromatase, I think that's an enzyme, don't quote me on that, but whatever, aromatase is around. Aromatase will convert testosterone to estrogen from your adrenal glands. And so there are a class of drugs called aromatase inhibitors, i.e., inhibiting or blocking aromatase, so that it can't convert testosterone to estrogen. So a class of drugs means it's kind of like equivalent to non-steroid NSAIDs, I'm blanking, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, right? In that class, we have ibuprofen, Motrin, for example, and Aleve, for example, right? Those are all NSAIDs. So, like NSAIDs, the class of aromatase inhibitors, there's three of those similar, like three brands or three types of, not brands, but three types of drugs under the class of aromatase inhibitors. Basically, all they do is they block aromatase. So if aromatase is blocked, right, testosterone can't be converted to estrogen, so therefore we stop estrogen production from that organ as well. So hooray. So for me, that is kind of what I have to go through, right? So I have to, so that was a lecture on general. But for me, I have to pick, first of all, how am I doing my ovarian suppression? How am I suppressing my ovaries? Well, one, I had initially thought I wanted to go straight into getting my ovaries removed. But after talking to my medical oncologist and also realizing that, hey, chemo probably already screwed up my ovaries because, yeah, I'm having hot flashes, all the symptoms of menopause or perimenopause. So chemo already did that, right? However, it's not a guarantee that it's permanent. What the chemo did, the ovarian suppression induced by chemotherapy, we don't know if that's permanent. And I can't be considered postmenopausal or having gone through menopause without that 12-month mark, basically 12 months without having a period. So my last period's April, still counting, haven't had my period yet. So, but we can't wait until next April before doing anything because I need to start treatment. So what I decided to do is between now and April is to have Lupron injections. So that is a intramuscular injection with a big needle once a month, every 4 weeks to be exact, right in the gluteus maximus, my butt cheeks, and big needle. And I honestly was like scared. I'm pretty fine with needles, but I was kind of nervous because it's a big needle and it's going to muscle. So I was like, oh no. And so I had my first injection September 30th. And I have to say, I am thankful that it was not as painful at all as what I expected. And I think the tech did a good job. She had me stand and basically, let's see, if these were my knees, I have to like do this to the leg where I'm gonna get the injection to kind of loosen up the muscle in the back in my behind. So I didn't see the needle, obviously. I was facing the wall. And if you ever have to get this, make sure the tech does this because it helped a lot. She actually pinched me, obviously not on my hand, on the area before injecting it, and it kind of hurt. The pressure of the pinch was pretty strong. I mean, a big, not like a tiny pinch, but a big pinch. And then she injected it. So when she actually injected it, I didn't feel anything because I probably was distracted by the sensation of the pinching. So praise for that. It was not painful at all. So I am so grateful. I have a big bruise though, like a sticker bruise from it, in my glutes, but not painful. So hooray. So I started that so that I can start the aromatase inhibitor treatment in 4 weeks. Yeah, in 4 weeks. About 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks. And do that every month. So I don't know about the meds other than I'm going to talk to the pharmacist in a few weeks, but basically all I know is the aromatase inhibitor is going to be a daily thing. I don't know if it's twice a day or once a day. But other than that, the Lupron injections will be every 4 weeks until April. And my plan is, because I was like, hey, if chemo actually shot my ovaries already, right? Like, and I'm in menopause. Why do I have to, one, keep injecting my butt every month for 5 to 10 years? And two, why would I do surgery when I'm already in menopause? Like, makes no sense. However, as I mentioned before, can't confirm any of that until 12 months. So April to April. So next April, I would go off of Lupron. And if I go off of Lupron, I have to switch to tamoxifen, meaning there's a risk, right? If I am not suppressing my ovaries with Lupron, and hypothetically the chemo-induced ovarian suppression already stopped, meaning Lupron is the only thing that's making my ovaries suppressed, then that means if I go off of Lupron in April, estrogen's starting to be made, right? Estrogen's going to start floating around in my body. So my body will need a door to block the floating estrogen from entering the breast cells. So that means when I go off of Lupron in April, I need to get on tamoxifen, right? Which is the door that's blocking, the drug that creates a door that blocks for a few weeks. So, or however long. So the doctors need to confirm my hormone levels off of Lupron. So not on Lupron. What are my hormone levels? Am I still making estrogen? Am I still FSH? All the stuff, right? If the blood test and hormone level test confirm that, yep, she's pretty much in menopause, Lupron had nothing to do with it. I mean, it helped, but it basically her levels, even without Lupron, are low. That means she's postmenopausal. Then I would stop taking Lupron permanently, and I don't have to do surgery to take out my ovaries. And I would then go back on the aromatase inhibitor, right? The one that blocks testosterone from being converted to estrogen, right? Because the ovaries don't make estrogen. So all I need is the aromatase inhibitor. And that's it, right? That is my hope and prayer. And I would have to take the aromatase inhibitor for 5 to 10 years. So, however, if off of Lupron, they do my blood test and my hormone levels are functioning normally, right, or not low enough to be considered postmenopausal, then I have two choices to make. Continue with monthly injections of Lupron for the next 5 to 10 years, or get my ovaries removed surgically. But that is for next April or May or June for me to think about. But that is the plan. So that's what I've decided to do. And in terms of, and there's one more drug too in the mix that I haven't mentioned. And it's a targeted therapy. It's basically almost as bad as chemo, but in a pill that I have to take every day for 2 years. I'm not looking forward to this one, nor am I looking forward to the other ones. But this one in particular, can cause my white blood cell counts to drop, my red blood cell counts to drop, could cause diarrhea, nausea, vomit, the whole thing. Basically, it's like chemo without the hair loss and the peripheral neuropathy. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. It's 2 years. We'll see how it goes. The doctors said, in terms of side effects too, for the aromatase inhibitor and Lupron, it's all menopause related issues. So joint pain, hot flashes, weight gain, brain fog, cardiovascular issues, dementia. That's under brain fog. Oh, mood swings. All the other stuff, libido related, just not fun. And unlike women that don't have breast cancer and go through regular menopause and can get hormone replacement therapy, I'm not allowed to do that. And I know that there's a whole bunch of new information now that says I can. I don't know. I mean, I believe that I can, but I don't think I want to fight too much about that with physicians. That's just going to stress me out, which is not helpful. And I'll just see how things go, right? So with the aromatase inhibitors, like I said, there's 3 drugs. There's 3 different types. So the doctor said if I take one and I can't tolerate it, I could tell her and she'll switch me to one of the other 2. And if I can't tolerate that, then I could switch to the last one. And then we'll see from there. If I can't tolerate that either, I don't know, maybe none of it. And just be at risk for recurrence down the road. I don't know. But so far, I am hopeful since I have seen God work faithfully through my entire journey thus far. I am confident that He will be with me through phase 4 of my journey. And I'll learn from it. I'll grow from it. I'll just rest in Him through it, as I have been through phase 1 through 3. So, yeah, I'm just going to go all out, do the max, and then go from there. So, yep, I'm at peace about my decision. Um, and I'm just excited to hopefully get my fingers back first and foremost, and hopefully have more energy, um, so that I could actually combat the side effects of menopause. Like, I need to gain muscle and exercise more and walk more. I want to write more, all the things, and be happy and joyful and energetic and not just be a couch potato, which I have been doing a lot. Yay for K-drama. But anywho, that's almost an hour long video from me. I hope I didn't bore you guys to death. I hope you guys learned something, and know that I'm okay. I appreciate you listening. If you've stuck around or hung around this entire time, thank you for your prayers, your encouraging comments. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye, everyone.